Good morning, everyone. I'm Rishabh Kumar, and I would be the instructor for the SQL sessions. To give you a brief introduction about myself, I work as a principal analytics at Walmart. Have more than 13 years of experience in analytics. So I've been into this field since the time you guys. There was majorly only Excel for analysis, but now it's literally grown up and seeing how everything is changing, and we are slowly trying to incorporate AI into almost everything. With that, I'll start the session. And the plan for today's two sessions, that's from 10:30 to 12:30, and then from 2 to 4, is to go through some of the basics around SQL. So we'll learn about uh, what SQL actually is and what are the different data types. Then we'll go through some of the basic SQL formats, how to see the whole table, how to query the table, the basic syntaxes is something which is expected from this two sessions, the first two sessions. Slowly, uh, when we go to the advanced concept, we will go through the subqueries, how to write the subqueries, how to write the CTs, and then we'll go to how the most important thing, the window functions in SQL. Okay. Okay. Let me get started for this session. So, how many of you are actually from a tech background? Anyone who has used anywhere SQL or any? Have you guys heard about SQL? What SQL actually is? And okay, okay, okay. So SQL is the short form for structured query language. Okay, it's a programming language used to communicate with the databases. So we actually SQL, what it helps you is it helps you store the data. Data means the whole tables. It helps you retrieve. It helps you update the table. If you want to change the value based on some condition, SQL is a go-to tool for that. Then it helps you manage the databases. Okay. So when I'm saying it's a kind of a tool which helps you store the data. So what kind of data it helps you store? So can I store anything there? Can I store a movie there? The movie which I like? The answer is no. I cannot do that. Okay. So it actually has to be in the form of a relational database. Okay. So what actually is relational database? The word relational comes from the word relation. Okay. So you would have seen Microsoft Excel. Okay. So there are rows and columns there. Okay. There are a lot of columns and there are a lot of rows in there. So, but the thing is, every row which is there, it's actually related to each other. For example, if you have a table which has three rows or three columns, let's assume that student ID, name, and age. Okay. So let's suppose the student ID is 1, name is Rahul, age is 20. Okay. So what you can say is student ID 1 is related to the name Rahul, whose age is 20. So this is kind of a relation that you are trying to build in the data. Okay. And this is what is called as a relational databases. Okay. Second example. So let's suppose there is a course table. Student gets enrolled in colleges and they have different course. And there's a course table which has two columns, the course ID and the course name. Let's suppose course ID 101 is maths. So what you can say is course ID 101 is related to the course maths. This is again a form of a relational table, that relation database that you're trying to solve. Now, a database is a culmination of different
Uh,
tables. Yeah.
Hello, Rishabh.
Yeah.
I think, are you like trying to show us your screen or are you just
No, no,
like
no, no, I'm not.
saying,
I'm not. Let
okay,
me do that. Okay, first. Okay. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, I'll just show you. Okay, share screen. Okay, the screen visible.
Yes.
Okay. Now suppose you have this course table. So you have the columns such as course ID and the name. So 101 is course ID is maths. So what I can say is one course ID 101 is related to the course name maths. Similarly, if suppose there is 102 and this is science. Okay. So what you can say is course ID 102 is related to course science. Now, this is a form of a relational table. The relational database is actually a culmination of different tables. Because there are a lot of tables in the database, and that's how the everything is stored. The whole structure, if you see from a SQL point of view, it is database. Okay. Below database, you have schemas, and below schemas, you have tables. Okay. This is the whole flow. Okay. So a table is something like this. Okay. Now, schema would be something like you have, let's suppose there's a university, and in a university, there are 10 colleges. So, those, and every college has different courses. Okay. So, the schema would be something like a college. Okay. And this database would be something like a university. So, this will be your university. This will be your colleges, and this will be your courses. Okay. So the granularity, you are digging in deeper after this. Okay. So there's nothing after tables. After tables, you have rows and columns. All good till now?
Yeah.
Any doubt? Okay. Okay. Now, all this is fine. Yeah. Yeah. It's a collection of different tables. Now, let's like you visualize it like this, like there's a superset, like there's a big group called as university. Your university would have, let's suppose, 10 colleges. Okay. So university is a bigger group that becomes your database. Okay. In university, as I said, there are 10 colleges. Those 10 colleges will become like your schema. Okay. Every college has different courses. Those
Lost your
will
voice,
make your
Rishabh.
database. Yeah. Like, was there a question? Okay. Okay. So what I'm saying is a university a database is a collection of schema. Okay. A schema would be a collection of your tables. So it's not necessary that you will end up making schemas every time you have a database. But that's the most common structure that we follow. Even in professional life, that's the most common structure you can follow. A schema would always be a collection of tables. A collection of schemas will result in database. Okay. Now, as I said, course is the most granular thing that you could do. But inside course, you have, which is a table, you have rows and columns. Okay. You have rows and you have columns here. Okay. Now, these rows and columns will help you store different types of data. Okay. Now, there are, in general, three types of data sets or three types of data that are there in SQL. The first one is your string. Okay. In string, there are three types of data. The first one is your text. Okay. So these are variable length and they can store any amount of text. Okay. For example, uh, the names of students, they can be of any length. Okay. To store a name of a student, you have to use the text data type because the name could have any number of characters. Okay. So this is the first data type you have in SQL, that is text. The second is your char. Okay. So char is a fixed length. So if there is a text in which you want to store the fixed some fixed length of text in that time you have to use the char data type. A perfect example for this would be your PAN card. Okay. So PAN card has a fixed number of characters, even Aadhaar card. Okay. So these are something which are, if you have to store something like this, which are of fixed length, you will be using char. Here, name. The third type in the string group is your varchar. Okay, now this is actually very important because this is a uh, so varchar is a variable length. Okay, now variable length, but up to a specified amount. Okay, now the difference in this is also variable length, but this is variable length up to a specified length. Now, the question could be if both are variable length, then why I should be using one and not the other one? The answer to that could be that if I want to optimize my memory usage, I would go ahead and use varchar. Suppose there is some survey that is happening. Okay. And in that survey, customers can write feedback. Feedback in the form of a free text. For example, you ordered from Zomato and you have to give some feedback. The feedback could be the food was not good, it was not warm, it is good. So these are all variable length. Okay. Now, let's suppose I don't want to store the whole story what the customer is writing. I do not have so much of memory. I do not want them to write pages of feedback. What I'll do, I'll restrict it. Okay. Restricted means varchar 50 I'm taking. Let's suppose that. So what I'll do is I'll write something like this. Okay. What it says is only the starting 50 character is something that I want to store. In those cases, I would be using varchar. So what it does is if the customer has written 100 characters, it won't take those 100 characters. It will take the first 50 characters in the feedback. This is a way to optimize my memory also. And it's also a way to store the relevant information. I do not want to store everything. I just want to store the top 50. That's it. Okay. So these are the first three data types that you know. First is text, that is a variable length. For example, if I want to store name. Second is char, it's a fixed length. For example, if I want to store something like fixed length characters such as PAN card, Aadhaar card numbers. The third one is your varchar. It's a variable length up to a certain amount. Okay. So I'm pausing over here. This is just the string part. Let me know if there is any doubt in these three. So depending on what kind of information you want to store, you will be using one of these three if you want to store the string data type. Okay, let me know if there's any doubt. Fine. Moving to the second set of data types, that is your numeric. Okay. So numeric, as the name says, is stored, it's used for storing numbers. Now here again, I have three types of data types in SQL. The first one is your integer. Okay. So what integer says, it actually stores integer values. Normal thing, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like this. Doesn't store decimals. So something like 1, 3, 5, something like that. Okay. It doesn't store the decimal. For decimal, if you want to store the decimal, there is a second type of data type, and that is called as float. Okay. It is used for storing decimal values. Okay. So for example, something like 4.5 is something which is in decimal form. So for storing this, you will end up using float. Now my question to you guys is, if suppose I was storing, I had a variable which is in the form of float data type, and which is in the form of a integer data type, and I pass the value 4.5 to it. So I have a column which is in the form of integer data type, and I pass the value 4.5 to it. What it should do? It should not accept the value. What else?
It can show
Maybe
an error.
it will
Mhm.
round off to 4, something like that.
Hmm.
4.6.
Any other option?
It will consider only the whole number count.
Good. It will consider only the whole number. Okay. If I want to store it as a decimal, I have to convert it into float and then store. Otherwise, it won't. Second question. I had a column which was in float. I passed the value just 4 to it. Now what will happen? How it will get stored? Or will it get stored?
4.0.
Had a, good. It will store it as 4.0. Okay. So a data type plays a major role, and there are easy ways to convert from one data type to another data type. It's easy. Okay, I'll tell you in the course of session in this whole course. Okay, the next type in numeric is your Boolean. Okay, Boolean can have either can store either true or false. Now, please do not confuse this with the string value. True and false have special meaning. Okay. True and false actually looks like a text. So you might get confused that this is a text, but it is not. It has a special meaning. For example, let's suppose there is a column. The column name is student. Okay. And we all are there in that table. Okay. So for you guys who are the student, for your records, it will be true. But for me, as I'm not a student, it will be false. So there's a special meaning attached to it. True means yes, this is correct. For,
Sorry
yeah,
to continue. Can you increase the font size, because as you add more values, it's becoming very tiny. So if we can increase it to at least 15 or 16, it will be like more visible too.
better.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, that's fine, right? Okay. So suppose there's a column called as is student. So for you guys, the is student would be true because you guys are student. As I am not a student, so for me it will be false. So it can store only two values, true and false. And please do not confuse them with text values. They have special meaning. Now this is your numeric data type. There's one more, but before I go to that, I want to know if there is any doubt till now. So if you guys wait. Okay. The third data type is your date and time. Okay. Now, date and time, believe me, it has been a pain for many people because the way date and time behaves in different programming languages, because I started off in SQL, moved to C, C++, then to, a lot of programming languages. The way date and time behaves in different programming languages is actually very different. But in SQL, there are different functions which will help you work with date and time. For example, today's date is 14 March. Okay, so 14/03/2026 is the date today. Okay, so this has to be stored as date and time. Many times, what will happen is this won't be stored as date and time value. This would be stored as text. If that is happening, your problem increases because you will need to first of all convert it into date and time and then do all the date functions. Okay. But in just as of now, date and time functions are something which will help you work and store the data in date and time format. So there are a lot of ways you can write date functions and you can even change from one format to another. I could even write 14th March 2026 as this, double y, double m, double d, or I can even store it like this. If I am in US, I will probably go ahead and do this one. Double y. Okay, that's already done. Okay. I could even write it like this, double y dash mem d. I could even go ahead and do something like this. Okay, there are a lot of ways you can write the date functions, and there are functions which will help you change from one format to another. If I'm not interested in knowing the whole date, my analysis involves only the years. There are functions which will help you pull only the year, like this, and we'll go through each one of them. No need to worry about it. Okay, but for example, for now, just remember that there are functions. There's another data type, date and time, which will help you store the date and time values. Okay, so I'm pausing over here a bit. Let me know if there is any doubt in date and time. I would be going through the basics of query writing after this.
So what exactly is the for like type here? Date and time is a type.
Date and time is the type.
Okay.
So if you want to write something in date, like if you want to write the date, you want to make use of date and time functions, you have to convert it into date. So this would be the format that you will need to do. Date. Another format is your timestamp. These are the two data types that you will use here.
Okay. So this basically like numeric had three types.
Yes.
Date and time has one type is date and another one is timestamp.
Timestamp.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any other doubt here? Okay. Okay. So for the next thing, you have the SQL or editor here on Nextly website. If you want, you can access this one for now. But I think from the third session onward, I would be jumping to Postgres. So if you're not aware of what Postgres is, you can. It's actually a SQL online SQL query language. Okay. That you can install. You probably would have a session for that as well, how to install that. But it's free and it actually does everything that you're supposed to do in SQL. So if you're not aware, try installing that one. But for today's two sessions, this compiler is more than sufficient. This is easily accessible to you guys.
Rishabh, just one query. So in future sessions, like that Postgres,
it will look something like this.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
since I'm on a Mac system, so just the UI would be different, right? And all the other things would be same.
This is also MacBook that
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
using. So
Okay.
nothing is changing.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Thank you.
So I have this Postgres on my Windows and as well as on Mac. So
Mhm.
UI is exactly the same.
Right.
Okay. 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 Now, if suppose there are table. Okay, yeah. Okay. Now there are two tables which are by default available to everyone. Even you can see these two tables. Okay. The first one is your orders table. The name is written over here. And the second table is your employees table, which is written over here. Now, the schema, as I said, like I was explaining database schema and then as I was explaining database schema and tables, the schema is something that you will see over here. Okay. What you can see is order number and then int. Int means integer. It's denoting the data type. Okay. The second column name is purchase amount and it is double. Double means it's actually of large value. So we are saying it has to be a double data type. Double data type means actually should stores large number of values. Then order date, varchar 512. Varchar 512 means variable length, and I am allowing only the starting 512 characters. Okay. The fourth one is a customer ID. Again, it is an integer. Then the last one is your salesman ID, which is again an integer. So this is how you actually specify the schema. You can see the column name. You have order number, purchase amount, order date, and customer ID. Then you have the type of the data type, the type of the columns, integer, double, varchar, int, and then the schema. Schema means nothing but the column name and the data type. Okay. So this is how you write or specify a schema. Yeah. Now, if I want to know the whole data from a table, okay. So what I want is I want to see the whole, every row, every column, and all the values in the table. In short, you want to print the whole table. What you will do is you will write select star, and I'll explain it to you word by word why I'm writing this from the table name. Okay. So what I've written is select is a keyword. Okay. Whenever you want to write a SQL query, you are actually trying to pull out some value. You will need to write select. Select means write the whole, like you're trying to select something to pull or to print something. Okay. Star is a short form for writing everything which is there in the table. So star means everything which is there. All rows, all columns, everything you pull. Short form for writing the column names. The third thing is from. From again is a keyword. So you're trying to say select everything. But the question is from where? So that thing, that from is something that we need to write. From is again a keyword. The last thing is the table name. So for me, I'm trying to pull everything from orders. So I'll write orders. It's not a keyword, it's a table name. Okay. So when I do this, it should show me the everything which is there in the orders table. So what I've done, I am trying to select something. Okay. Star is used uh, to pull every row and every column from the table. Okay. Every row and every column from the table. From again, it's a keyword which helps me identify from where I have to do this. I understand that I have to pull some information, but from where I have to pull is something, but to denote that I have to write from. and then the table name. So table name, for example, I want to pull it from orders, so I'll put orders. So when I run this, it shows me the whole table. If I do not want to run, if I do not want the whole table, suppose I want just the order number, the first column. Okay. So I cannot use star because star, as I said, pulls all the rows and all the columns. If I want some specific columns, I have to write the column name. So what I'll do, select order number and then a comma. I want purchase amount also. Right? Purchase amount from orders. Okay, because this is again coming from orders table, and I will run specifically this row. So it will from
Hi Rishabh, are
Yeah.
you pressing tab key like when you are writing select?
sorry, I missed that. What was that?
Are you selecting the tab key after writing select?
No, I'm not writing using tab key.
Okay, or is it just copying and pasting over there?
Yeah, I'm just okay. I'll just show you. Okay, let me run this first. Okay, so I've ran this. Okay, now suppose I want to pull out these two columns for order number and purchase amount. And before let me go through, I just missed one very small topic. Okay, so okay, I want to pull order number and purchase amount. Okay, so what I'll do is select ORD number, that's the order number, purchase amount, because these two columns I am interested in. From where? From the orders table. Okay, so when I run this, I'm getting this. What I was doing was I was copying the column name. I'm too lazy to write the column name, so I was just copying it and pasting it there.
Got it.
That's it. There's no tab usage.
Okay.
I mean, this thing is fine, but there's one more thing that you guys should know. There's something called as comment. Okay, comment is something which won't be processed by the compiler. It would be ignored by the compiler. It won't run. Then why to write comment? Question is that if it is ignored by the compiler, if it is not run by the compiler, then why to use comment? The reason for that is there are times when you need to write the logic to for the code. What logic you have created, that is something that is there, and so probably somewhere like you are testing something and testing is done, you actually want to comment out that section. That time you will use comments. It won't be run by the compiler. It is just for your understanding. If suppose your code is reviewed by someone else, okay, that time the person should understand what you are trying to do in the code. To make him or her understand what you are doing in the code, you write some comments. Okay, so it is ignored by the compiler. It won't be run. It is just for increasing the understanding of the code. Now, how to write comment? Nothing. Just put a double dash. See, the color has changed from blue to green. Now there is nothing. Okay. Now there is no changes. Now this thing won't be run. If I try running this, the result set is empty because there's nothing that you have written. The only thing that you have written is a comment, which is ignored. Okay.
One doubt
Yeah.
over here. Like in the end, you don't need a semicolon. It is a part of
You
the
can.
syntax, right?
Yeah. I mean, even if you do not write it, it will still run perfectly. There's no harm in that. The reason we write the semicolon just to make the compiler understand that there are multiple queries in this. What will happen? I'll show you.
Yeah, but I think in SQL Workbench, if you don't give the semicolon, it throws the error, I guess.
It throws an error. I totally. So these are minor changes. If this is Postgres, you are writing in SQL Workbench. You could even write in Google BigQuery. There is minor changes in the way the code is written. Very minor changes. 95 to 97% of the logic or the formats is same in everywhere.
Okay.
But these are minor things that is actually different on the tool you're using, SQL tool you're using.
Okay. And also coming to like database, schema, and tables are the 3 levels, right?
Right.
While creating database and tables, we give create database, create tables, like that. For schema also, we should mention create schema.
Right. There are 2 ways you can do that, and I'm going to my Postgres now. Okay. So this is my server. Okay. What I do is I create a server group. Sorry, I create a new database here. Okay. Create database. Let's suppose I just name it as session. Okay, session 1. Let's refresh it. Where has it created? Session 1 test here. Okay, this last one. Now, what I do, I create a schema. Session 1 schema. Okay, session 1 schema should be available here. Yeah, here. Okay. Now I'll create a table. Okay, so this is how you went from database to schema to the table. You can either use your user interface, like I have done GUI, graphic user interface. Easy way to do it. If people are not well versed with the technical things in the starting, you can straight away use the GUI, or you can use a create table, create database, create schema command. But most of the time, whenever you are working even professionally, you would not be creating these things. Okay, these things would be available to you. These are something which are part of DBA, database administrator. For you guys who are into analytics job family, you wouldn't need to create this. You wouldn't be allowed to create this actually, because if we allow everyone to create their own database, create their own schemas, then it will be a problem. Analyst has always the right to create the tables in a schema, but not to create the schema or to create the database. That is actually part of DBA's work. Okay. Now, coming to the semicolon usage, select, let's suppose I'm writing that query again and I'm copy pasting it. Okay. I'm not using tabs. Okay. I put a semicolon over here as well. Now let's see what will happen. It's not running anything. See, because it ran this one and it stopped. It saw the first query and it stopped. That is the problem with this. Now, if I have to run the second query, I have to comment out this one. Okay. That's what I'm saying. For learning purpose, you can comment out the queries which you do not need, and then go to the next query.
But like if we wanted to run the later whatever query, we can just select that line and run, right?
Yes. That you can.
How can we get the GUI screen where we have created the schema and the tables?
Which screen?
GUI screen where you have created the schemas and the tables.
That is your Postgres. So you need to install Postgres and then you can do it. It's available free. It's a good thing. You can try doing this one. It's actually very easy, 15-minute work for you guys. And anyways, if you're not able to do it, there would be a session wherein you would be learning how to install Postgres.
And even same thing can be done into the SQL with the help of the writing query, create table, create a schema.
Yes. It can be done there. This is easier for you guys to understand as of now, because this is something which is a first session in SQL. So this is something which is easier for you to create using GUIs. Okay. One more thing. Do not assume you need to write everything in the same query, in the same line. I can even write like this, and this is perfectly normal. Okay. I can even write like this. This is also fine. Do not think that everything needs to go in the same line. Can go in multiple lines. But the only thing is you need to comment out everything if you're commenting. Okay. Now there's no query to run. Okay. So I'm pausing over here a bit. This is actually for very basics of SQL because you are just trying to learn how to print the values. Let me know if there's any doubt here. For better understanding, yes. For better understanding, you have to use comment. I mean, many people what I have seen is they actually ignore comment, and the reason that I get is it's time taking because everyone is focused on writing codes and they actually forget about the whole logic understanding. So I mean, it's not like it's not like your code won't run. The only problem is uh, you guys actually will get stuck if you are trying to go through your code after a month. That's the only problem.
Hi, Rishabh, can you just explain again the comment thing
Comment part. Okay. So
and the second query again?
okay. So suppose this is my code. Okay. So select star from orders. You can just shows you the whole table, which is expected. You are doing a select star. Now I want to write this code. Okay. Select order number, purchase amount from orders. Okay. So here what I do is if I try running this one, it won't change anything because what it does is it's actually just running the first one. So to make it run the second one, I'll comment out the first one and then run. So it runs perfectly fine because comment is actually, it is not showing you the output. The compiler is not even running that code. Okay. The compiler is not running the commented part. So it will just ignore this one and run the uncommented part. In the second query, I am trying to pull only the order number and the purchase amount. Okay. Only the order numbers and the purchase amount. So what I do is I'll writing the order number and the purchase amount in the select part. Because suppose that's the only thing that I'm interested in as of now. And then from orders, which is same as here. So whatever columns you're interested in, you have to write those column names in the select part. Okay.
Okay, and how are you like commenting or uncommenting that?
So for commenting, you have to put double dash like this. Okay. For uncommenting, you will need to remove this double dash.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Okay. Now let me run this again. And I'm commenting this one now. Now, this was for pulling out all the records from the table. Okay. But the thing is, I'm not interested in whole data set now. Okay. I just need some data, some rows based on a condition. Okay. Let's suppose the condition is I want to know all the records for the customer ID 3002 for this customer. Okay. So this customer has this record. Yeah, there are two records. So ideally, I need only two records. So what I'll do, this is a kind of filtering that you are trying to do. So you would have seen in Excel that you have filters. In those filters, if you click, there will be a drop down and then you select the value. To do the same thing in SQL, there is a clause called as where clause. So what I'll do, select star from orders. Okay. This is pulling out all the values from the orders table. But now what I'll do, where customer ID is equal to 3002. So what I've done is I've written a select star from orders, then a where. Where is a keyword which acts like a filter. Okay, which acts like a filter where customer ID is equal to 3002. Okay, so where customer ID is equal to 3002 means where customer ID column has a value of 3002. When I run this, it will give me only those record where customer ID is 3002. Okay, so where is a filtering clause? It will check each row. Wherever the customer ID 3002, it will pull only that. It won't pull anything else. Okay. Let me take up another example. Let's suppose I want those records wherein the salesman ID is 5001. So 5001 is this salesman ID, this salesman ID, this record. In short, there will be 3 output. So what I'll do is select star from orders. Okay, you write it in caps or you write it in small, nothing will change. It is not case sensitive. Okay, but I'm talking about only column names. You write orders in caps or in small. Like if you write like this, it's still fine. Where salesman ID is equal to 5001. Okay, I'm interested only in those records wherein the salesman ID is 5001. Got 3 records. Here. So only these 3 records. So wherever whatever filter I need, whichever column in filtering I need, I'll put that and I will give the value. Clear? Any doubt in this one? Because if this is fine, we'll see one more. Let me show you that case first. Now, this was an easy thing because you are just trying to check if these are equal or not. But what if it's not? I'm not checking for some equation like equal to sign. I'm checking for some greater than or less than. For example, let's see this purchase amount column. Okay. I want only those records wherein the purchase amount is, let's suppose, more than 300. Okay. So more than 300 means I won't get this record. I won't get this record. I won't get this record. I'll get this one. I'll get this. I'll get this 3 and I'll get this. So in short, I'll get 4 records because purchase amount more than 300 is these 4 records only. So what I'll do is select star from orders where I'll write this purchase amount is greater than 300. Let's suppose this is the criteria. Now when I run this, we get these 4 records on it. So you can write equal to, greater than, less than, not equal to, everything over here. Okay. I'm pausing over here a bit. Let me know if there's any doubt. The next topic would be I picked up till now. I picked up simple examples wherein I'm checking only for one column. But what if there are multiple conditions? We'll go through that. But before that, let's be clear about this. Any doubt till here?
Hey Rishabh, I have
Yeah.
one doubt. So can we not run multiple queries at a time?
Multiple queries at a time. In that
Like-
case, my question to you would be, which query output do you want to see?
Like first query select star from order and second query select order number.
Mhm.
So like
But-
I have written 2 queries and I run at a time. So I am getting 2 outputs.
This one and
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
This
So
you
is
can
it-
do. But
Okay.
you cannot do this in Postgres then.
Okay.
So that's why I did not pick that up because it won't SQL, all the tools won't behave like this.
Okay.
And that time you will get confused that it was showing up, now you it is not showing. So I didn't purposely did not pick that up.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm just waiting for a minute. Let's go through this and let me know if after this I'll be picking up multiple conditions on multiple conditions in where clause.
Rishabh, I have one question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through YouTube channel where I was
Mhm.
checking some data analytics interviews. I mean,
Mhm.
so where I have seen that many people say that most of the questions are asked on SQL only, I mean SQL only. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
I just wanted to understand that why SQL is more important as compared to other tools, for example, like Excel or we say Power BI.
Mhm. Okay. So that's a partially correct statement that you have given. Excel, we generally do not ask, and there are two reasons behind it. First thing, we, as a technical interviewer, I'll get only an hour to judge the candidate. And I want to optimize my question so that I can judge the candidate ability. We assume candidate would be knowing Excel
Okay.
until unless you yourself say something which makes the interviewer believe that you do not know Excel. Okay. So by default, we assume that you would be knowing Excel. The second thing is in analytics job family, there are a couple of things which are actually very important. One is your SQL, because that is something which is there, I don't know from how many decades now. So we want people who are actually good in this because that actually makes us believe that the candidate understands the data. So see, seeing this as a form of a data and seeing a story behind it, behind this data is two different things. So SQL will help you create and analyze the data, which will help you create the story behind it. So SQL is something which is important, but at the same time, I'll say a visualization tool, be it Tableau, be it Power BI, Looker, anything, is something which is actually expected. So I won't say that SQL is the only thing that I will ask or any interviewer will ask. It would be a SQL plus a visualization tool. Okay. So
So
if you're good,
basically this sorry, yeah.
so if you're not good in SQL, for sure we are not moving ahead. That's the truth. Okay. If you are good
So
in
you mean
SQL, yeah. If
I
you're good
just
in,
wanted to ask.
yeah, tell me, tell me.
Let me just complete. I just wanted to ask that SQL is only used to extract the data. That's all, right? Not for visualization purpose, or for example, like in last session, we use Excel where we did some visualization. We created PO table, something
Mhm.
like that. So this thing is only to extract the data from database, right?
Yes, SQL is not for visualization, but extracting the database is actually, again, it's not totally correct because see, SQL will help you analyze the data also. The basic analysis is something that you could easily do in SQL. But if you think that SQL will help you create charts and all, no, that is not possible in SQL. So the thing is, extracting as a word, it looks very simple because you will think that it's only writing select star. No, it is not writing select star. It is actually becomes complex, especially when you start seeing that the different levels at which the data is there in different tables. If you have 4 5 tables and you have to somehow join these 4 5 tables and bring out the metrics, that time SQL is something which will be handy and it will become complex. Believe me, there are codes which I've written which goes to more than 1,000 lines of code in a single 1,000 lines in a single code. Hmm. So that is something which would be expected if you go in experience, have some experience in SQL. So in short, it's in a simple term, you can say it's actually extracting the data, but it is way beyond it. But not at all drawing charts in SQL. That is not possible.
Understood. Thank you so much. And sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. But if you are looking forward to grow in this job, I mean, because I myself would have taken more than 200 interviews now, and SQL and any kind of visualization tool is something that we always look for. Python is also there and this is important in analytics job family, but depends on the job description that you have. Sometimes we do not need someone who has Python skills. I mean, if it is there, it's not there. We really do not care. That time Python is something which you can remove. But then Excel and SQL and visualization tool is something which I always look for.
So, for example, if I'm looking for something into consulting these days, like data visualization is really necessary in every domain.
Right.
So
Then
in
you
that case as well, like tools like SQL, Python, these are necessary
these are necessary. Totally correct.
because SQL, as you mentioned, it does not offer the data visualization,
Yeah.
but only
SQL doesn't.
the yeah.
So I'll say, see, learn. There are so many tools in analytics. Like Power BI is there, which is free. Tableau desktop public version is free. Looker is there. Google Looker. I mean, try doing all those things because SQL won't give you visualization capability. Okay, so SQL is not for visualization. It's just for the basic querying. It's just for querying and for preparing the final table, which you can push to your visualization tool. So what you could do is you could write all the queries here in SQL, prepare the final table in SQL, and push it to the visualization tool for the visualization. Okay. Okay. Let's move forward. Now, suppose what I need is I need all those records which are for salesman ID 5001. Let's take this one, this, three records. But I need only those records which are for salesman ID 5001 and have the purchase amount as more than 100. So both the conditions should be there. So what I'll do is I'll write select star. Oh, there is a star from orders where salesman ID is equal to 5001. Okay. So, this is the first condition. The second condition is purchase amount is greater than 100. So what I'll do, I'll write A and D and, okay, purchase amount is more than 100. So salesman ID 5001, there were three records, this one, and this one. But more than 100 purchase amount is only in two, just two. Okay. So when I run this, I should get only two records. So what I've done, there are multiple there are multiple conditions in where clause. So and both needs to be true. So what I've written is A and D. So what it happens is wherever the salesman ID is equal to 5001 and purchase amount is greater than 100, it and say a purchase amount is more than 100, I'll get those records. Okay. Give me a minute, guys. I'll be back. Give me a minute. Yeah. Yeah. So what I've done is I have actually separated those two conditions with the use of A and D and operator. Okay. And this will give me only those records wherein these both conditions are true. Okay. Now there's something called as OR operator also, because AND is there, then OR should also be there. Let's suppose what I do is I change this statement. Okay. And what I do is select star where's OR I'll change and to or. What do you think should happen now? Any idea? In and, both the conditions are true. Salesman ID is equal to 5001 is there. Purchase amount is also more than 100. Both are true. But if I change it to or, what will happen?
It can be either 5001 or where the amounts are greater than 100 also will come.
Good. So what will happen now is it will check for either the row should have salesman ID 5001. In that case, I'll have this record, and this record. These three records. Other condition is purchase amount more than 100. So again, it will check. So wherever it is more than 100, it will give you only those records. So ideally, I'll get everything wherever the purchase amount is more than 100. Now, when I run this, it will give me these many records. Why? Because it is checking. I've used or operator. It means either this part is true or this part is true. Even if both are true, that is also fine. But both should not be false. In that case, means should not be like the salesman ID is also not 5001 and purchase amount is also less than 100. That should not be true. Apart from that, everything else you will get. So I think this thing is similar to what you would have learned in Excel. So either salesman ID is 5001. In that case, you're getting in this record, and this record. Purchase amount is greater than 100. That means you're getting this one. You're getting this one. And you're getting this one and this one. Although salesman ID is different, but you're using an OR operator. Okay. That's why you're getting these many records.
So it is fulfilling either of the condition?
Correct. It is fulfilling either of the condition. Even if both are getting fulfilled, that is also fine. But it should not be like both are not fulfilled.
Okay.
Okay. Any doubt in this one? If not, I'll give you a question to solve on this.
Hello.
Yeah. Good.
Hello, sir. Actually, I want to know that can you explain the main purposes of SQL in real life scenarios?
In?
Can you explain the main purposes of SQL in real life scenarios? Like why we use the SQL?
Okay. See, SQL is actually that two things where when you will use SQL. One thing is you're storing your data. Okay. So data is not always in the form of Excel because there are various limitations. The first thing is it cannot store more than 10 lakh of records. 10 lakh is actually, if you look into from a real life scenario, when you start using this professionally, 10 lakh is nothing actually. Moreover, the processing is very slow. Okay. So these two cases, we actually have to jump to SQL because we need to store large amount of data. The second thing is if you are using SQL, it will be helpful for you to analyze the whole data sets. Okay, the whole kind of analysis. For example, if you are storing like if there's a university database, okay, and you want to store data around students there. So in a university, there could be thousands of students. So and they would be enrolled in multiple courses. To store that kind of data, you will need SQL. The second thing is you want to run an analysis around, suppose the marks scored by the average marks scored by each university in each in each college in each university. That time again, that kind of analysis can be done using SQL. So there are some ways wherein SQL would be very helpful. And that's why Excel, although it's the first tool that you learn in your analytics, and that is actually very helpful. But we have advanced and we have moved towards more better things such as SQL. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now do one thing. Let's try doing this question. Yeah. Okay. I want to know those records wherein the customer ID is 3002 or salesman ID is 5001. Try doing this one. Customer ID is 3002 or salesman ID is 5001. Try doing this one yourself. And once you're done, please post the answer on the chat.
Then straight question.
Customer ID is 3002 and
Customer ID is 3002 and salesman ID is 4001. So either of these two condition is true.
okay. Done.
Okay, I think everyone is correct. Fine, good. Everyone is on the same line. It's good. So this is how you will write this. Okay, so these are the two cases wherein, sorry, these are three records wherein customer ID 302 or salesman ID is 5001. Okay. Now let's jump to something else. So what I need is I need those records wherein customer ID is 3001 or customer ID is 3002. Try doing this one. Customer ID is 3001 or customer ID is 3002.
Can you repeat?
Yeah. The customer ID should be either 3001 or 3002.
Done. Done.
Okay. Good. Okay. So most of Prem, I think yours is, why have you used the less than or equal to? Isn't it? I think it's overkilling the problem. Okay, so definite is fine, but what you've done is you have written something like this: customer ID less than equal to. Okay, I'll show you. No, you are actually overkilling the problem. It's a simple thing. Okay, let me run this first. Okay, so I got 3001 and 302. Now this is overcomplicating a simple stuff. I mean, the output wise is fine. They won't face any problem. But it's a simple thing. Customer ID equal to 3002 or customer ID equal to 301. Okay, so the same thing. What to do? But this is fine. But the new thing that you can do here is instead of writing this or again here you can do select star from orders where customer ID in. So now this is in is an operator. Now whatever I write this, it will just check whether the record is 3001 or 3002. So if you're writing this, suppose in a single column, there are multiple or conditions. Like in this case, there is a single column which is called as customer ID, and there is or operator. So or operator means there are multiple. I'll say there are multiple conditions which can be true. To replace all that, I can straight away make use of the in operator. When I run this, I'll get the same output. Customer ID in 3001 and 3002. So what it is checking is customer ID should be either 3001 or customer ID is equal to 3002. You write it like this or like this, it would be same. But do not confuse this with two columns. Like this is there has to be a single column like this. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay, so you're checking multiple conditions on a single column. Our column name is customer ID, and you are checking there are customer that whether the customer ID is 3001 or 3002. I could go ahead and make another condition here, like, and let's suppose my purchase amount is, let's suppose, greater than 300. Now, if you see this, there's only one record. This one. So ideally, I should get only one record now. So what I've done is customer ID is either in 3001 or 3002, and my purchase amount is more than 300. So both of these conditions should be true. Clear? Any doubt till here? Let's try something else. Yeah. Okay. Mhm. Okay, I want to know those records wherein the designation is either manager or tech, and the salary is, let's suppose, more than 30,000. And this is your employees table. I want to know those records wherein the designation is manager or tech, and the salary is more than 30,000. Try doing this one.
Which two designation we have to check?
Designation
tech.
is manager or tech, and
Okay.
your salary is more than 30,000. Others? Okay. So, okay, I got a couple of responses. Pawan, I'll pick up yours first. Where designation is equal to manager and salary. So designation where there were two designations, manager or tech.
No, I'm writing the query again.
Okay, okay. Harsh. Okay, fine. No, Harsh, this is not correct. The way you have written. So what you have written is where designation is equal to tech or manager. No, this is not going. Oh, where is it? So designation is equal to tech or manager. Now, if I try running this, okay. So see what it is doing. It is giving me employees with tech or manager. I mean, it is getting confused first of all, because designation is equal to tech is something, that is one condition. The second condition is manager and salary. I mean, it is actually getting confused what it is that it needs to do. It is not giving you the designation as manager or tech only. It is giving you everything here. Okay, so this is not the right approach. I'll explain to you what is the right one. Manager is equal to designation manager or tech. Nishant, yours also same case. The designation and good salary. Okay, fine. Okay, there's one more person who has written in different way. Yeah, Rohan, I think I'll take this as of now. Designation is equal to manager or tech. I'll take this. Mhm. Equal to manager or no, Ansh, I think yours is also not correct. What you're writing is designation is equal to manager or salary. So designation, there were two designation, manager or tech. Okay. So explain what is the right approach to this. Where designation and well, inside the quotes, I'll write the word manager and tech. Okay. Or salary greater than 30,000. So this is where you will write. Now you will get only those designation wherein the value is manager or tech. Oh, hold on, guys. There's something wrong.
Thanks,
Yeah, no. Okay, sorry. Give me a minute. Okay. How is the word manager written?
I think double quotes is causing the problem. You can try with single quotes.
Yeah. Okay, there are only okay. The problem is not because of the tech. It's giving me the right answer. Only the thing is that both the tech people are running lesser than 30. That's fine. Let's do one thing. Let's make it as 24. Then the difference would be clear. Now I'm getting only those designations which are manager or tech, and the salary is more than 24,000. Okay. But the thing to note here is the way I've written the word manager should match. If I write like this, now see, when the thing is, when you're dealing with string values, when you're trying to match something, you will need to write the word in exactly the same way as it is in the data. The manager is written in all caps in the data, but I've written in normal case. It is not able to detect. Okay. Same thing if I do write tech in the normal case, it won't show up anything. Okay. Thing is, string has to be written in single quotes and they has to be written in the same way as they are in the data. For the column name or the table name, you can write in any way, uppercase, lowercase, you don't need to match, but the data inside it should match. The cases for the string should match, otherwise it won't work. Okay, it will get incorrect output. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, good.
Sir, can we use in operator for multiple column?
Can we use?
In operators for multiple column, because they're like we used in operator for the first we use customer ID for customer ID, then second we use the designation for designation. So if I try to use the designation and customer ID, both are same time, both the same time for in operators. So can we use?
So you can use a single in operator in a single, like I
Single
cannot have that. No. So what I'm trying to say is this is designation, right?
Yeah.
So this is single column. For a single column, I have to use write once. Okay. For the second part, so suppose there's another column called as, let's suppose, salesman ID. If I want to use salesman ID also, then I have to again write salesman ID in this. What I'm saying is, if suppose I have another column called as salesman ID. In this also, I have to write, suppose anything, okay, 1, 2, 4, 5, okay, whatever it is, okay. So I have to write like this.
Okay.
I cannot merge both the in operators. That is not possible.
Okay.
A single in operator is for a single column.
Single column. Yeah. Understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is actually very painful, I'm telling you, because dealing with strings is a pain. Now, to overcome all that, there's a very simple thing which you have already learnt in Excel. Let's suppose my manager column is manager value is written like this. Then it is written in normal case also. Then what should I do? Should I keep on writing the values in my query? Not possible, right? So what I do? I'll write upper of designation in manager and write everything in uppercase. It's the same thing you would have learned in Excel also. There's a function called as upper. It will convert everything which is there in the designation column into uppercase, and then you can easily write in upper. Now, if you run, all good. You don't want to.
Shiv, I'm not still able to run the code. I've typed the exact same thing.
Can you send me the query?
Yeah, 1 second.
Got your query. Where upper of designation. Okay, yeah. So if you're writing upper of designation, you should be writing everything in first of all uppercase. Your quotes are also not closing properly. That's another mistake. So it has to be written like this. Now it should run. Okay. Now everything is fine. Your quotes were not closing properly. So what you had written was something like this. Okay.
Yes, now it's working.
So the quotes you have not closed for the quotes for manager.
Yeah.
Now see.
Okay.
Okay. Now upper is there. The similar case, if you don't want to write upper, you want to make use of lower. That is also fine. Works exactly the same way. Lower of designation in, but then everything needs to be in lowercase here. Okay. That's it. So upper, lower quotes are something which you have to use in your string datasets. Will be very helpful because strings in real life they are written in very weird manner. Especially if you get a chance to analyze the surveys, that time it will be very painful if you're not using this. Okay.
But this lower and upper we can use only on the column name, the column where
Yes.
we are selecting the data.
Yes. Yes. Only on the column names. Yeah. So if I try doing this, suppose I convert everything and I run this now. So what will happen is it's actually just picking out where the salary is more than 24,000. Now if I run, so if I run just picking out only those records when the salary is more than 24,000. If I run this, salary more than 24,000 and I mean I delete I'll check this, get this sorted because it's not behaving like a right manner here.
Also, is there any way that we can verify that we have run the correct code, or do we have to check manually only?
Run
Like
the
in
correct
Excel, we
code.
can verify, but is it possible in this tool as well?
I mean, verification in the sense you want to see if the output is correct or not.
Yes.
Okay, it's see there also you are able to do it in Excel because the data size is not huge. I give you 1,000,000 records and you run the output. You verify?
Of
The
course
thing
not
is,
manually.
see, verification has to be done using the code. Like whatever code you have written, is it making sense of or is it correct of what you're trying to solve? You're trying to solve a case, you write a query, you get the output. Is that output something that you're looking for? That you have to check. The code runs, it gives you an output. So it gives you suppose 100 rows. So are those 100 records are something which is fulfilling all the criteria? That is something that you need to check.
So basically, depends on what query you are writing. So query
Correct.
must
Must be correct. If it is not, you need to figure out why it is not correct.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the last topic for today, for this session. That is your like operator. Okay. Now, let's suppose I need only. Okay. Fine. I need only those names, this column, okay, which are ending with T, letter T for tiger, okay. Now, this is this name ending with T, then it is this name, then it is this one, okay. So there are three names which are ending with letter T. Now, I do not care what is before T, but it should end with T, okay. To solve these kind of problem, we have like operator. In like, there are two functions. I'll explain it to you. Search star from orders where name like. Now, the first operator here is percentage. Percentage says 0 or more occurrences of a character. Okay. Okay. There could be 0 or more characters here. And it should be ending with letter T means T. Yeah. So that means there could be 0 or more characters before T. Now if I run this, what is the name column? Is it some other name? Sorry, it's employee table. Sorry. Okay. Like when I run this, there are 3 records that I get. So what it shows is this is a percentage, which means 0 or more occurrences of a character. There could be 0 or more characters before T. And it is inside quotes because this is a string value. It is not a equal to operator, it is a like operator. Do not confuse this with equal to. If I change this to equal to, it won't show up anything. Because what it is now, what you're saying now is name should be equal to percentage T. No one would have a name called as percentage T. Whereas if I make use of like, it means there are 0 or more characters before T. Okay. The name should be having anything, but it should end with T.
And why did we use the percentage symbol?
Percentage means 0 or more character. Okay, so there could be 0 or more characters there. I do not care about how many characters are there, 1 character there or 100 characters are there, but the last character is T that I have specified. Okay. Now there's another operator similar to percentage that is called as underscore. Let me write this. Now let's suppose I want those names in which in which the first character is R. I want no, in which the second character is O. Okay, I want those names wherein the second character is O. So what I'll do, select star from employees where name like, I said second character is O. So the first, if the second character is O, that means there is only 1 character before O. Second character is O, that means the before O there is only 1 character. So to denote 1 character, I have to make use of underscore. Second character is O. Let's write the second character. I do not care if there is any character after O. So what I'll do, I'll write percentage. Again, percentage denotes 0 or more characters. Underscore denotes 1 character. There's a difference, okay? Percentage means 0 or more characters. Underscore means 1 character. Now when I run this one, I'll get only those records wherein the second character is O. See Johnson, Hoover, Polk, Monroe, and Roosevelt. So there are a couple of things that you will need to remember. The first thing is if the percentage denotes 0 or more characters, underscore denotes only 1 character. If you are using percentage and underscore, you have to put them inside single quotes because those are string values. The third thing is you have to make use of like operator. You cannot make a use of anything else apart from like. Okay. Any doubt here? If not, I'll give you some questions to solve using like operators.
What does like operator mean? What does it say?
Like operator is for pattern matching. Okay. It's not a equal to, it's a pattern matching. Pattern matching means if there is any pattern, suppose 0 or more occurrences, that's actually a pattern. Single character, if you want to match, then you have to use underscore. This is kind of a pattern. So we make use of pattern matching, which is specific for like operator. So like is totally different from equal to. Equal to will just equate it to. So like suppose I actually instead of I get confused and I use equal to, it will look for this thing underscore O percentage in the name. No one would have this kind of name. Okay. So it won't be able to show up anything. But if I change it to like, it actually means it is looking for a pattern. Pattern is the second character is O, and after O there could be anything or nothing actually. Let me know if there's any doubt. We'll solve some questions.
Rishabh, I have a doubt.
Yeah. Right.
So can we just write underscore O without the percentage after it?
Okay. Then in that case, what you're trying to show is that the second character is O and there is nothing after it. So you won't get any output based on our data set. Okay.
Because the underscore just represents the second character will be O, right?
Underscore represents one character. The way you are writing this, it actually denotes that O is a second character. If O is a second character, that means there is one character before O, but there is nothing after O because you're not writing anything after O.
Okay, fine.
So there would be, in this case, the way we are writing like this, it would means the name has only two characters and the second character is O.
Understood.
Okay.
Hi Richard, this is Paul.
Yeah.
What if the first character is O?
What if the first character is O? And is there anything else after that?
Yeah, I mean O and then percentage.
It will be like this, O percentage. So there is no name like this in our data set. But to test it, I'll show you with some other character. I think with R, there's a character, there's a name with R. Yeah, starting with R. So it means name starting with R and there is 0 or more. So Roosevelt is one such name which we have in our data. You will get this. Okay. What if I need, okay, one question for you guys now. Change this code so that I get every name which is starting with R but ending with T. Starting with R but ending with T.
Would it be R underscore T percentage?
R underscore T
percentage. No.
R underscore T percentage means
R and before T there's underscore.
See, R underscore T means there is only one character between R and T. Underscore means only one character. Percentage means 0 or more character. So it could have 0 characters also or 100 characters also.
R percentage.
After that,
T.
R percentage.
And after the colon and then we'll write T.
Okay. I get confused. R percentage and like this.
Yeah, we can close the colon after the percentage and then we can write and with the colon.
No. Like operator won't accept your and. No, that is not possible. See, the question is the name should start with R and it should end with T. There could be any number of characters 0, 1, 2, 100, anything between R and T. I do not care about that. But it should start R. What?
R in percentage because you said 0 and number of n numbers. So we are giving only the starting rate and the end rate, and in between we are giving the ampersand.
Good. So it will be like this. R percentage T. So I'm forcing and then I'm saying that should start with R and end with T. It could be anything between those two. Now when I run, I will get only this name. Let's try with some other name. So let's suppose I want those people whose names start with J and end with N. J and end with N. So it was
J percentage N.
J percentage N. Now there are two names like this, I think.
Jackson.
Good. Okay. I need those people who names start with JA. JA and end with N.
J percentage N.
Mm-hmm. Listen carefully. Whose name start with JA. There are two characters.
Jackson.
JA and end with N.
J A percentage N. Basically, your
Good. Now seeing the difference.
But Rishabh, one thing, when we are using this, so we are not caring about the case sensitive. Or
Good. No. Yeah, the statement is incorrect. We care, and I actually give me a minute. I'm just coming over there and give me a minute. I'll answer. I know what you are trying to say. You are trying to say that the cases are not matching. Then what will we do, right?
yes.
I'll come to that point also. But
Okay.
Any doubt till here?
In the last question where the first two characters should be JA, right? There we can give like J underscore A also, right? It gives the same result.
No.
Second character.
Because okay, the reason is if I write like this, right? J underscore A, that means you're forcing and saying that between J and A there is a single character.
Okay.
And we do not have any such name. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, percentage is for 0 or more character, underscore is for a single character. Okay. If you write J underscore A, that means you are saying there is one character between J and A, and we do not have any such name. Now, coming to the cases. Okay. Now, if I write like this, J, A, and then N. Now, this is it's actually ignoring. This is incorrect. Do not. I mean, this is not the way the like operator works in normal Postgres, Google BigQuery, everywhere. Okay. See, it won't match because J, A, and A, they both are in smaller case, but in our data set, it is in uppercase. To overcome all that, you have to convert it into lower or uppercase. Let's suppose I convert into lower. Okay. So you have to make use of lower and upper when you're dealing with strings. Believe me, this is something that you need to remember whole of life. If you're dealing and playing with string values, please make use of the lower and uppercase. It will create hell lot of problems if you are trying to join two tables on the basis of string values. You will go mad looking at the errors. So please do not forget about lower and upper. It actually becomes like a very simple thing, but people many times they forget. So please make use of lower and upper, even if you are using like operator. Here it is working. Here it is working without cases, but this is incorrect functioning. In most of the SQL applications, it won't work.
So, is there any difference after using the lower and upper and
the only thing is no. The only difference that you will see is the Jackson, the way it is written in all uppercase. If suppose there is another entry for Jackson which is in all lowercase, if you make use the upper and lower, then you will be able to track both the rows. Otherwise, you won't be able to track all the records for Jackson.
No, Rishabh, I'm asking about like the previously that you have written.
Which one? Which
the
case?
lower
Which
designation in manager and tech.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm asking about the double and single colon.
Okay, this is something which is incorrect. I think it should work only with both the cases. I have to recheck why it is not working with the double quotes. Ideally, it should check with both the quotes, double and single. I'll get this checked once. It could be a compiler issue here, but I'll get this checked because in Google BigQuery, everywhere you will find it will work. It will work. I'll get this checked why this is not working over here. Okay, let's try one last question for the session.
I have one
Yeah.
more doubt here.
Tell.
Like here, 9 Jackson is there in caps locks, right? And the 10th entry is there in small letters. Entire different person designation is different. All the row data is different, and I want to extract both Jacksons. See here, we gave upper and lower case can be written in one single statement.
If you want to get both the records,
Yes.
it's better you convert a name into lowercase or uppercase, whatever you want, and then type it like this. If I'm using lowercase, I'm typing everything in lower. Okay, suppose I want to convert this into uppercase. I type it like this.
Yeah, if we do like that, both the cases we'll get the result of both the cases.
Correct. You will
Upper or
get both.
lower, anything we get the.
Anything is fine, but if you are using upper, if you are in like operator, everything should be in upper.
Upper,
If you are using lower, everything should be lower.
In lower, yes. Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So as we have our data in uppercase, like name format, we will be using upper one only.
Sorry, I missed that. What was it?
I was asking that all of the names are in uppercase that we are getting here in the table. So we will be using upper as when extracting the information.
No, it's not like that. See, when you use upper, it means whatever is there in any case, forget about the any case, it will by default convert the name column to uppercase.
Okay.
So if it is in lowercase or uppercase, doesn't matter. It will forcefully convert everything to uppercase.
So as a general practice, I think lower will be good for us since we are typing on the keyboard. It will be like.
It won't change the table structure. It won't change the table. Okay, so your table would still have the same format. It's just for the compiler purpose. It will convert everything to upper or lower, whatever you're typing. So it won't change your tables.
Okay, got it.
Okay, try doing one. Find out those names, those records in which the second and the third character both are O and designation is sales 1. You need to find out those names in which second and third character are O and the designation is sales 1.
Rishabh, second and third character are O and then rest are?
Designation is sales 1.
Okay.
So second and third character are O, but the designation is sales 1. So Deepika, this small mistake in your code. You have ignored the cases.
Yes. No.
Yeah. Nida, same issue with your code. Raj is fine. Archana. No, Archana, yours is not correct. Lakshmi. Good. 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 Lower of, okay. Abhishek, if you are using lower of designation, your everything in sales one should be in lowercase. You have mixed the cases, okay? Nida still not correct. Okay, I'll just pick up Nida your case. Fine. So okay. So this is what you have written. So upper of name like second and third. So first, second, and third. When you are using upper, everything should be in uppercase. First mistake. Okay. Designation is equal to sales one. Everything you have written in lowercase in sales one, please make it as lower. Otherwise, it won't. These are the only two changes. Okay. Like upper of name like and lower of. Okay, no.
Sales I.
That is I. So
Yeah.
this is why it is not working. So this is how it should be. So if you're using upper and lower, just remember if you're using upper, everything will be by default converted to upper. So when you are matching, everything you should write in uppercase. If you're writing something in lower, everything should be in lowercase. That's the only change.
Okay, thank you, Rishabh. And one more question: like for string, we are using the single quotes, and for numeric, we are not using anything, and we are directly giving is equal to value.
Right.
And if it is alphanumeric, then how we are putting it? We are putting it without quotes.
No, it will be in quotes.
In quotes. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Fine. I'll start the okay. So T identifier is used to. Okay, fine. I got this. Okay, fine, guys. I think I'll stop the session for now. Okay. The next session would be around some of the other functions. Probably I'll focus while we're focusing on aggregations. I would be focusing on group by having and how is it different from the where clause. One of the important interview questions that you guys will face, especially like this, something is a favorite when for the people who are starting up the career analytics. So I will be discussing around that question as well. Okay. Okay. What I'll do, I would be starting the polls. Okay. And
recording stopped.
And what I'll do, I will launch the poll. In the meanwhile, like if you guys have any doubt, please ask that. And for those who do not have any questions and they have polled, they can feel free to drop off and we'll connect back at 2.
Thank you, Rishabh.
Thank you.
Rishabh, like we have some journal queries like where we are using where, like order by and something. So when we are starting joins, so what are the topics we will be covering into the joins?
So see, there are two joins which are actually very important, which is actually extremely used in SQL. That is your left join and your inner join. These are the two major joins. But in the interview perspective, the cell join also plays a very major role. You need to be very clear about what is self join and how to make use of it. Because if you're not clear about self join, then believe me, you won't be able to type in anything. That's how difficult the self join can become.
So are we going to cover that?
Yes, we would be.
We will be covering into the next session.
No, not the 2 p.m. session for the next week, because that would be too much on you guys then. I don't want to cover and hit you guys with all the kinds of joints topic on the same day. I won't be doing that for the 2 p.m. session. Moreover, what I notice is 2 p.m. session, people are generally not very much active. I don't want to put that critical topic in a post-lunch session. I would avoid that. But I would definitely be covering that in the next week. For sure, I would be covering that because that's actually like a very important part for your interview.
I have a doubt related to how much time the company will give us to resolve any problem. We have the milestone, so it took 1 or 2 week. So in company, how much time will they give us?
Depends on complexity and the turnaround time. So, see, if you are young,
Yeah.
career, so definitely what I generally do is I give some mentee to you guys, and even in my company also. So there will be some other senior person who would be overlooking at your work. So, and we generally do not depend on young people for some critical task. So the reason being, we know the growing and learning takes a bit of time. So we generally avoid giving some kind of time-bound task to people who are very early in the career. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, guys. Thanks for the thing, and we'll connect back at 2 now. Yeah, yeah, that's okay. I think if everyone has polled and they do not have anything, then they can feel free to drop off, and I will be here.
And Risha, there is one more function which I would like you to explain because I have seen an interview question on that. Police.
Yeah, it's an easy one. Don't worry.
Are we covering this today?
Yeah, we will cover that. We'll cover that. Don't worry.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Risha.
Yeah. Yep. Tell me. Mhm. Mhm. Yes, you would be. How much is the also experience you have to in total? Then it will be fresher only. Yeah. Hmm. Please, please do not resign without any offer right now. Okay. Because the thing is, I understand 3 months is a long time. Okay. But at this point of time, you even need a real interview experience to get into a real job. So please do not resign without an offer at this point. Right, 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 right. I would. Thank you.